What's going on, everybody? Q here from Hyperstocks. Thank you so much for checking in. In this video, we're going to go over some of your favorite stocks on the market. We're going to talk about SPY, move on to Tesla, and finally, we're going to talk about Apple. We're going to tell you whether these stocks are in a bullish or a bearish trend, so whether they're expected to go up or down. And we're also going to talk about some price targets that you should watch if you are in setups. And finally, we're going to talk about some important support and resistance points that you need to look out for when you're trading these stocks. So let's go ahead and start off with SPY, where we're going to look at the daily candles, where we can see that for the last 4 weeks, there has been one consistent thing about SPY, and is that during its time up, it never broke below its 10-day moving average. You can see that back on July 26th, it bounced right at its 10-day moving average once again on August 9th. And finally today, it broke below its 10-day moving average. So this is the first time that it closes below that point since July 18th. So since then, we have not closed below that point, which means that going into next week, if you are bullish on the market, you're going to want us to open above this point, which is this blue line, the 10-day moving average. If you are bearish, then you're going to want us to open below that line and remain below it in order for us to be projecting a further decline. So if you are looking for a further decline, here are some levels that you need to watch out for. Going into next week, you're going to want to watch for a support break below 420.70 and again a support break below 419.30. If we move below those points, then we are likely going to fall towards 416.75, and finally we are expected to fill the gap down to 412.75. If you look at the daily chart, you can see that there's an unfilled gap here, and as soon as we break below this support, which is 416.75, it is likely that we will accelerate selling and move to fill that gap down to 412.75, right around that 20-day moving average and where it's trading. So that's going to be as far as the bearish side on SPY. If you are bullish on SPY, then you're going to need the market to move back above 427.25 in order for us to restore our bullish trend. Right now, the trend is bearish. We did break into a bearish trend 2 days ago, and it's going to remain bearish unless we are able to move back above this point. So SPY come next week can rally all the way to 426 or 427. If it doesn't close, including after hours, above this point, that means the market failed to reverse and it's still considered in a downtrend. So now let's move on to Tesla, where we can see that Tesla's daily chart is now testing its 20-day moving average. So for the first time since July 19th, Tesla has come down to test its 20-day moving average. You can see that it dipped below its 10-day moving average on these days, but it didn't come down to touch its 20-day moving average. So if you are bearish on Tesla going into next week, you're going to want it to gap down and open below that level in order for it to begin selling off. We'll talk about the price targets in just a second. Or if you're bullish on Tesla, you're going to want it to move back above its 10-day moving average as well as its 200-day moving average, which is this dark gray line here. Now going into the micro charts on Tesla, we can see that the hourly candles are starting to move back to retesting this trend line. After breaking above this trend line, Tesla saw some weakness, and we can see that it's slowly creating that bearish head and shoulders. It is currently in a downtrend, so we are expecting it to move further down. Support going into next week is going to be 876.80. Below that point, Tesla is likely to fall to 840 to 855. So your price target on Tesla is going to be between 840 and 850 on the first decline down. Below that level, we can talk about further price targets in later videos, so make sure you guys do subscribe to this channel. Now going into Apple, we are going to start by looking at the daily candles. Apple finally broke its uptrend. Many people have been waiting for this day to happen, and Apple just broke its uptrend for the first time in multiple weeks, which shows a sign of weakness across the market. If Apple is below its uptrend, that means there is some weakness going on in the tech sector. So looking at Apple going into next week, if you are bullish on the stock, you're going to want the stock to move back above 174.10. So above 174.10, the stock is considered to be back in a bullish trend. Otherwise, the stock would be considered to be moving further down in the next couple weeks. Your next support to watch is going to be at 170.60. Below that level, Apple is likely to fall to 168 to 168.50. If it fails at 168, then we can expect it to fill the gap down to 165 to 165.60. Now keep in mind that when the SPY chart, so SPY, the first chart we talked about, when that one falls, it tends to bring the entire market down with it. So as SPY moves and it fills this gap, it is likely that a lot of other stocks are starting to fall and fill those gaps as well. But That seals up our video. I hope that was helpful. If you guys want to see more of these videos, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to comment with any stocks you want to see. Thank you so much.